Hi Year 9, today what we're looking at is exercise 1103, which is formulas evaluating the subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how to do each question, so questions 1, 2 and 3, and then that should hopefully help you to do it. So question 1 says match each formula with its title taken from the list beneath the table. So for question 1, we're to do the whole table, so A to O. And I'm going to start off with A and sort of talk you through how to work out which formula goes with which. So A is the formula A equals LB. Now you should know that capital A stands for area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my list down here and I'm going to highlight any of the titles that say area. So the first one is area of a rhombus, area of a rectangle, area of a trapezium. We have area of a circle, area of a square, area of a parallelogram, and area of a triangle. So you should know your area formulas from earlier on in the year when we looked at them. So this first one here, A equals LB, is in fact the area of a rectangle. So that is title I. What you'll then notice for parts B, C, D, E, and F and G, they are all area equals formulas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them in blue, and I highly recommend that you look back through your theory notes or your textbook or even use Google to work out which formula goes with which of those blue titles there. Our next one that we have here is H, which is C equals pi D. Now, what I would do for any of these, when they have C equals, I would look for the words or the title that starts with C. So we have the circumference of a circle is the only one that starts with C. And this formula is in fact the circumference of a circle, so it matches up with H. What we then have is we have a couple volume formulas. So volume, because it starts with a V, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the volume formulas that they match up with, and you can work out which one goes with which. We then have our next one, K, is P equals 2L plus 2B. Now, we have a P equals. So I'm going to look at all of my formulas or all my titles that start with a P. So either Pythagoras' theorem or perimeter of a rectangle. Now you should be able to eliminate Pythagoras' theorem straight away from here and know that when we have a P equals, we're talking about the perimeter of a rectangle. So that one would match up with K. If we look at L, we have C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Now you should know that this one is Pythagoras' theorem. You learnt Pythagoras' theorem in year 8, and we also did a little bit of it at the start of the year as well, and so that matches up with C. Then what we have left is our last 3 formulas and our last 3 titles. So for our last couple, what we have is we have Euler's formula. Okay, so that's a formula that you don't really know. You haven't really seen that one before. And then what we have is we have these angle sum of a triangle and angle sum of a quadrilateral. So you can use your own knowledge to work out which formula is the angle sum of a triangle. Remember what a triangle or the angles of a triangle add up to. The angle sum of a quadrilateral, so what the angles of a quadrilateral add up to. And then the last, whatever one isn't the angle sums, will be Euler's formula. So I'll leave you to have a go at doing those. Remember, you can check your answers at the end to make sure that you are correct. Moving on to question 2, we've got to do A, C, E, G, I, K, and M. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 2B for you. That way you can have a go at doing the rest yourself. But what we've been given is we've been given one of these formulas that we had up above, and we've been told what the letters stand for and what to find. So if I was to look at 2B, it says if A equals BH, find A when B equals 15 and H equals 3.6. So this is question 2B, and it says if A equals BH, find A if B equals, B equals 15 and H equals 3.6. So what I'm going to do I'm going to write my formula out, A equals BH, and I'm going to highlight each letter, so my B, my H, and my A, and I'm going to highlight them in my question. So A is what I'm trying to find, okay? My B is worth 15, and my H is worth 3.6. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute in these values into my equation. So I'll have A, we don't know what that is, so we're going to leave it as A, equals my B value of 15, and the relationship between the B and the H is multiplication, so it'll be 15 times our H value of 3.6. So then all I'll do is grab my calculator, which I don't know where it has gone. Quickly searching for the calculator, found it, and I will go 15 times 3.6 into my calculator, and I get an answer that A equals 54. So I have found A to equal 54. That's all you have to do. So if you have a look at 2A, C, E, G, I, K, and M, you've been given a formula, you've been told what the pronumerals equal to, you substitute them in, just like I did with 2B, to find out what the value of the pronumeral that you're trying to find is. Finally, question 3, you're asked to do A and B. So what you've been asked to do is exactly the same. So you want to find the letter when you're given certain values. So I'll do 3AI for you, but this is exactly the same as question 2. It's just a little bit wordier. So 3AI, I'm just going to do it down here so that we don't go off the page and we can all see. It says if the formula C equals 5 over 9, bracket F minus 32, converts to degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. Find C when F equals 212. So we've been told that F equals 200. Oh, it's going to take a while. Equals 212. So what I'm going to do is C is what I'm trying to find, and my F is what I've been given. So I'm going to put my F value in to this equation. So C will stay as C, my 5 over 9, bracket my 212 minus 32. I will then put that into my calculator. So I'll go 5 over 9, bracket 212 minus 32 to get my answer here to be 100 degrees. Okay, and we're finding it as degrees Celsius. And that's all you do. So what you do for II is you sub in F equals 32. For III, you sub in F equals 104. Then for part B, it says the kinetic energy E of a particle is given by the formula E equals a half mv squared, where m and v are the mass and velocity of the particle respectively. You want to find E if m equals 6 and v equals 2.5. So you're going to do that. You're going to substitute in your m and your v value to find out E. If you have any questions about this exercise or don't know how to do a specific question, please send your teacher